31. Animals' instincts, the revelation of the wisdom of the greatest creator. It is not the case that roosters can crow, bees can build honeycombs, chicks can break eggshells, and migratory birds can migrate because these animals possess great wisdom or are good at learning and summarizing experiences. Rather, their instincts are the revelation of the greatest creator who has created them. In addition to the above examples of instincts, there are many other instances. Termites can build air-conditioned nests, many fish can discharge electricity, an American eel can discharge electricity of 880 volts, fireflies can produce light, dragonflies can rise vertically or make designed fly in the air. Turtles can lay their eggs in warm sand for them to hatch and protect themselves, chameleons can change the colors of their bodies at will, and bats can locate food via sonar in pitch darkness. Mollusks like snails have a tough home to protect themselves. Now let's look at the bird's skill in nest building. An African weaver bird, in particular, can select soft twigs and grass to build an apartment that holds snakes at bay and keeps water from leaking in. Silkworms can spin silk, spiders can weave webs, and homing pigeons can locate their own nests. The ants are capable of well-organized and well-planned collective activities. Worms can restore themselves if one part of their bodies is cut off. Military dogs have extremely sensitive olfaction. All these are the embodiment of animals' instincts, which are not results of millions of years of evolution but have existed from the very moment the animals appear on Earth. If we attribute animals' instincts to the wisdom and talents of animals without looking for their creator behind them, then it is as if we are seeing planes flying in the sky and marveling at the wisdom and cleverness of the plane, neglecting the wisdom and talents of the plane's manufacturer. 32. Celestial beauty scattering flowers, the stunt of dandelions. I remember that when I was young, there used to be clumps of dandelions growing beside the aqueducts, on the ridges of fields, and on waste grasslands in my hometown. We called them spur arrowroot, and a traditional Chinese medicine doctor called them thistle. They can be used as medicine. A perennial herb, dandelions have yellow or aubergine flowers. When the flower seeds are ripe, on the crown will grow many white flocky umbrella-shaped silky strands. With a small wind, these umbrella-shaped silky strands will carry the flower seeds and fly to a distance. My most unforgettable memory of dandelions is when I plucked a handful of flower seeds with my young playmates and placed them close to the mouth and puffed at them vehemently to see whose flower seeds can fly the highest. The blown flower seeds are like several hundreds of paratroopers who jump simultaneously off the plane. The scene is very spectacular. One day while we were enjoying ourselves, Grandma asked us, "Look, why do these flower seeds have hair on their ends?" Whoever can answer this will get a piece of rock candy as a reward. Looking at each other, none of us knew the answer. My grandma said, the hairs on the end of the flower seeds of spur arrowroot are to carry the seeds to a more distant place when the hairs fly with the wind. If they fall to the original place, all the seeds will grow in the same place the following year, and the family will be too crowded. Oh, this turns out to be the secret. In nature, plants have a great many ways to spread their seeds. I think dandelions are the smartest. They grow hairs so that the wind can scatter their seeds to a faraway place. The design is ingenious and unique and can be called a stunt in this aspect. Another plant looks a little like Siberian cocklebur, of which the leaves resemble the donkey's ears in size and shape, so it is also called donkey's ear by my vernacular. I remember once my cousin was infuriated when he sheared about a dozen sheep at home. Why? Because there were a lot of Siberian cockleburs attached to the sheep's wool. In each Siberian cocklebur, there were about 30 bristles, and on the top of the bristle was a barb. The barbs had tightly grabbed the sheep's wool, and it was extremely difficult to take them off and had to be torn off one by one. Look, the plants that look like Siberian cocklebur are also very clever. They use barbs to clutch at anything that they come up with so that their children can be brought to a distant place to expand their territory of growth. I can remember another time when my wife and I went on a trip to a lakeside. We drove from Harare. After driving along Bulawayo for more than 40 kilometers and turning left for more than 10 kilometers, we could see the lake. We parked the car at the campsite beside the lake and walked along the grass clumps on the lakeside. We had to stop after walking for only 20 minutes. It turned out that the woolen skirt of my wife was covered with thousands of grass seeds, whose names I did not know. From one side of the seed stuck out a forked burr, which has a barb on its top. The barbs hitched the wools of the skirt and could not be gotten rid of by shaking or by brushing. We had no choice but to return to the campsite, where we spent nearly 2 hours taking them off one by one. It was clear that the grass also has its skills to disperse its offspring. In addition to the methods of seed dispersal employed by dandelions, Siberian cocklebur, and grass, I have also seen another way in which plants spread their seeds. When I lived in room number 11 next to the Bulgarian embassy in Harare, there was a plant in the garden that looked like a small tree. I did not know its name. One day, I accidentally spotted many walnut-sized fruits on the plant, and out of curiosity, I picked one. Before I peeled it, it exploded and dozens of seeds were ejected. These fruit-like things had only a very thin husk, and inside them was air. When they were inflated with air, they would blow up automatically, ejecting the seeds from inside. It is amazing to think that each plant has its own magic powers to spread its seeds. Did they themselves figure out all these wonderful methods of seed dispersal? Can the theory of evolution offer an explanation? Or were these stunts designed by someone who created them? Why don't we say that alarm clocks are wise and clever in keeping good time and giving correct time? Why don't we say that inductive missiles possess wisdom? Why don't we say that computers are incomparably wise and intelligent when they can search millions of pieces of related information in a few microseconds? Why don't we say that robots, radios, televisions, and video cameras are clever and smart? Because we know that they don't possess wisdom and talents themselves but only reflect the wisdom and talents of their creators behind them. Then why don't we attribute animals and plants' instincts to the greatest creator that made them? Millions of scientists all over the world are racking their brains and investing a huge amount of manpower and money to explore the talent and wisdom of animals and plants. Have they found the root of the question? I can say for sure that if we don't look through the phenomena and investigate the power behind them, we will only see the moon reflected in the water instead of seeing the real one hanging in the sky, and we will remain completely ignorant even if we are given another 100,000 years. When a dog sees a robot at work, it may think that the robot must be extremely intelligent and wise. The reason is that the dog does not know that the robot is made by man. Then why do we think that the weaver bird is unfathomably clever when seeing it build nests on a branch? Are we different from dogs in thinking?